Hey everyone, welcome back to Unsealed and Revealed, the web series from Sideshow in which we showcase some of the latest and greatest offerings in the 6 scale world. I'm Terry Smith, the host of the show, and I'm really excited about today because we are taking a deep dive down the marvelous rabbit hole that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm talking about Iron Man, and what we've come to expect from Hot Toys is that they are very, very devoted to Iron Man and all things involved with that character. As you can see, they are not content to just limit themselves to the armor, but they are committed, they're remarkably committed, I should say, to actually showcasing and bringing to us figures that demonstrate pivotal moments from the film involving Tony Stark and his workshop. Today, we are featuring the Iron Man Tony Stark Mech Test version. It's right there with Guy. You can see the box right there in front of the table. It's looking really strong. Also joining me today from out in California are my good friends, of course, Guy Klender, but also Jesse Cohen. Hey, guys, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Terry.
Good to see you guys.
Time to
How are you doing,
testing.
Guy?
I am doing great. Yeah. This is one that I missed out when they had done it before, and so it was an immediate jump on, and I am so glad I did, and I get very excited for you guys to see what we got going in store for you.
Me too. I'm super stoked to see this one. Really excited. So
yes, me too. Before we dive into it, of course, I think Jesse probably has a couple things that she wants to mention. Jesse, I'm going to turn it over to you for a minute. Go ahead.
All right. Yes, we'll get through these real quick so we can get to this awesome figure. First and foremost, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the latest and greatest here at Sideshow. Also, we like to tell everyone to subscribe to our newsletter because it is a great way to stay up to date on collectible news, side.show/newsletter. We have our awesome daily deals that are changing daily. Usually they're themed. Today we have some X-Men themed for you, side.show/deals, 6-scale statues, bunch of good stuff. So go check those out. And lastly, we have an event coming up that I'm sure we'll talk more about a little bit later, side.show/geeksgiving, where we celebrate you, the fans, side.show/geeksgiving. And make sure you go get registered because you do get $10 in Sideshow rewards just for registering. So I'm pretty excited. That's happening next week. Monday the 14th is day one. So I am very excited, but that's all for me for now. I want to get into this figure. I'm super excited to see it. So Guy, Terry, back over to you. Everyone, I'll be in the comments with you. Please let me know if you have any questions.
That's great, Jesse. Thanks so much. And again, yeah, we are looking at an expansion upon the Iron Man figure collection from Hot Toys, and Guy is just really going to show us this excellent part for your Iron Man collection. So Guy, go ahead, dive into it. I'm anxious to see it.
Well, I am so anxious that I've already taken it out of the box and kind of prepped it for you. If you want to see how the box is laid out and stuff like that, we did do a Sideshow first look, so you'll be able to check that out.
That's right.
If you have that curiosity. One of the most important things that's in this box are going to be these instructions, so please follow along with those. But I do want to touch quickly on the box. What I think is neat about it, obviously, horizontal. We're not used to that. But it kind of shows the evolution of Iron Man and his suits. We've got that Mark I. Many people have pre-ordered that one, I know. We're going to have a little bit of that construction one there, and then working our way down to the 2 and the 3. All right. Now, that is a big, long box, and the reason being is it comes with this piece here. This is going to attach to your base.
Wow.
It's a very nice backdrop of Tony's workshop. Okay.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Beautifully done. Nice and tall. And we're going to go into why this is important with this one in a little bit. But on a nice, thick, heavy-duty cardboard. This folds nice and flat if you choose to use it or not to use it. It's not something that you have to, put pieces together on it and then kind of stuck having it displayed all the time. You can choose one way or the other. I, myself, will be using it. I think it's great. With the little angle there, it's not going to take up a huge amount of space. Now you see down at the bottom the black and white lines that are Tony's workshop. Well, that's important because the display base of the figure is going to be that workshop.
Oh,
wow.
All right. This is one of the large triangular style bases that we've seen come with a few of the different figures. I'm going to move the Tony Stark off here. But you will see that that's on there. It's got the little 1s, and then there's a 2, and then, yeah, you'll see on your base there's a little number 3. This does have a dynamic stand, nice, tall, sturdy stand because of, yes, this is where Tony realizes, yes, he can fly. This is right before he puts on the Mark II, and I'm a big fan of the soundtrack, and we get to hear the music Driving with the Top Down, which is an amazing piece of music.
That is a great track.
Yeah.
It's in my head right now.
I listened to that a number of times when playing with this particular figure. I am one for that. But let's talk figure. I'm going to set it right here. We're going to let Michael do a close-up on this. Now, this is from the first Iron Man film. So we have a much younger Tony in this and a much younger Robert Downey Jr. So we get that. Look at that. Wow. So this is the anticipation for you to get up to the portrait. But bam. And I'm
Look at that.
Side. Okay.
Wow.
So as I said, this is a younger Tony Stark. This is pretty well one of our first introductions to Tony and to Robert Downey Jr. in the role.
Amazing.
It is, Jesse. It really is. And I'm looking at it thinking, even at that size, it's blown up and on your monitor right there, and it still looks really on point. I feel like the bar has been raised.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Let's point out some highlights. Number one, this is when he's really into the, he calls them his flight stabilizers and getting those ready, that we do see some great concentration in the brow as well as the determination in the eyes, that signature facial hair, which is a very unique style that is all Tony. You see how that hair drapes over the front? I'm going to hit a little uplight on there so maybe you can see a little bit about how the light cuts underneath the hair going down on the front. Beautiful hairline. For one who would like to have more of it, we see how that goes. But take a look at the way in which the paint is done. The connection between the forehead and the hair, given that softness to it, which gives it a very, very real and natural look. There you see on the side, and you see the way the light catches it, that it does have that slicked back look. And it does even have that upturned ducktail style of hair in the back. You see in the way in which it is done with the, you can tell that there is the ball jointed neck and head there, so you know kind of how it's going to be articulated and move. Now, let's work our way down. There on the chest, this is where he is first putting together the suit, okay? And so this is the first time we kind of see the what he's going to be doing with it. And we're also going to show off a light up feature in just a second here because, yes, he is going to have the light up chest reactor. Now, this piece here that goes over him on there is loose. It can be moved, okay? So you're going to position it once you have it where you want. But it's important to know that it'll tell you how to do that. Again, this is all instructions. You see on this figure a lot of exposed wires, a lot of exposed mechanisms. And that's fantastic. In fact, that's my favorite part of it. There's probably going to be a little hesitation from folks saying, uh-oh, but it's going to be fragile. I'm going to really have to worry about that. And I'm here today to tell you, you really don't need to. That's the best part of it, is you really, really well done. I'm not too concerned that I am going to break, smash, or damage it in any way. I'm going to turn those lights off. I love the boots.
I have confidence in you, Guy.
All of the exposed elements.
Me too.
Well, I'm glad you two have confidence in me, but I also have confidence in everybody that's watching. Now, he does have light up features in the chest, on both of the flight stabilizer or repulsor arms that we're used to, as well as the boots. Now, I'm going to spin the character around so we can see the exposed wires that we have in the back and such. Nicely laid out, and they're already in position for you. Now, in your instructions, what you're going to see, and something you don't want to see me tolerate and do, is putting the batteries in. There is a battery for the chest feature right in the back. You're going to be removing the belt, lifting up the shirt, and putting the batteries in. Now, the nice part is, once they're in there, I don't have to worry about accessing it every time I want to turn on that light feature. You can actually feel through the fabric, and I can turn it on. Now, I am going to turn off my light here, and I'm going to have Michael turn off some of the other studio lights, because this is probably my favorite chest arc reactor light we've ever had. Can
that's
we
tight.
do a close-up on that,
Wow.
Michael?
So
The
cool.
reason I think it's so bright, this is my feeling on why it is just so bright and so different, is we've always seen it behind armor. Okay,
Yeah.
we don't have that with this. If I lift that up, okay, boom,
see
we see
all
that
the
we see the
coils. Look at
shirt
the coils.
there, and we can
is
really
so
see the
cool.
core. Now, because I'm holding the shirt for you to see that, of course, you're going to adjust that. The nice thing that they've done is put a little seam around there, so don't worry, it's not going to fray out. Okay, you're not going to have to worry about that. But isn't that great? I love
It
that.
really is.
Love that light feature. Okay.
I'm right there with you.
We're going to have Michael turn those lights on and off a couple more times during the show, but I did want you to see that as we work our way down. Now, Michael, could you zoom in on one of the arms, please? And we're going to take a look at all the exposed mechanisms and
Look at all
wires
that.
in there.
my gosh,
You're also
I love
seeing a
this
couple
so
of
much.
different metallic paint applications. Not only just that aluminum steel color, but you're also having the kind of brass tubing and cooling, and you can see real wire through there, and you can also see painted wires. One's in a little red, little blue, and those are done on the feet as well. Now, because
Now,
we
Guy,
have
really quick, just looking at those arms and all those details and everything, they look really crisp and really sharp. Do you get the impression that any of them are die cast?
no, sir, they are not. These are not
Okay.
die-cast pieces, but it's great that you bring that up, number one, to let you know whether they are, but to talk even more about how well Hot Toys does on their paint, their weathering, and things like that, that it can fool the eye to make you think that that really is metal.
Absolutely.
Now, because I have it here, because Michael is on a close-up, I want to show you a few other things about the arm, and that is when I move and articulate those, you see that the wire that they've added naturally moves out of the way. I don't have to worry about it. Okay, and these goes to
Fantastic.
They go to a 90. Okay, now one other quick thing while we've got it here is you do see what looks like hinges and all of that. Those do not open. Okay, I know we see in the film he kind of locks it shut. This is not, at least it's not something that it says that it can do, and I was not about to try and crack one of these things open. That's not something that I'm thinking that the figure does. I don't want it to, for me. I'm digging on him flying. All right, I'm going to now lift the arms up to the side so we can take a look at that belt, because that moves us into the next light up feature as well as design. All right, so that is an actual working buckle on the belt, and we see that he has two different pouches on the side. This large pouch on this side here has a Velcro closure, and inside, I'm going to lift this up and out and show you all. Boom. All right, Michael, can we zoom in there? Thank you. Michael's got to have to do a lot of zooming today, but all right. They've even gone to the detail of how it looks in the film, but now remember, this is closed in a Velcro pouch. But these are working, functioning wires, because this is where we have our light up feature for the hands. Now, I've just turned that on.
Stop it.
Yep, I'm going to slide this back into the pouch.
What
Close
a
the
great
Velcro,
way to hide that.
But
Yeah, that is incredible.
I'm now going to turn these lights off.
Okay.
And
Oh my gosh.
Michael, I know, Michael is now getting into cardio today.
I bet.
But you see just how bright those are as well.
Oh my gosh.
All right, now I'm
this
gonna
is a beautiful
Move that
figure.
back over. But you see just how bright and almost a white blue glow to these that they have. That boom, you can see.
Which is screen accurate, actually.
Exactly,
I've done a lot of photoshopping this stuff, and it's screen accurate to have that blue.
It is. So I love it. I think that is spectacular. We're going to work our way down. We're going to do one more light feature with this, but we will turn on the lights to finish off the outfit, talk about the articulation, and a few other things I want to point out. Working our way down from the belt. Okay, we are going to see the wires that came off of the chest there, and they are tucked in to underneath the kneecap. Now that is actually working Velcro, so you can tighten those up. The reason I bring that up is these wires are loose. They're not plugged into anything. They don't connect to anything. They are tucked in there and just held securely. When you are unboxing your figure, when you're taking it out and they are loose, that is not, you did not damage the figure. It did not arrive broken. You tuck them back in. The nice part is when we're going to be positioning, moving, posing the figure, if we need a little more play or a little less play, you can do that. That's the nice part about those, okay? You see, boom, and it just tucks back in.
Nice.
All right? Demonstrations there, Terry, demonstrations.
I'm a big fan of demonstrations.
All right. So then we work down into the really nifty part, and I'm going to turn the light off to show it, and that is those boots. This is when he first realizes he can fly, and for those in the chats, please chime into at what percentage does he turn it on to create his first flight?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay, what is the percentage? But as we can see, all the exposed wiring mechanisms, bolts, gadgets through it, multiple colored wires as well, spinning those around. And these do have that large clunky style of boot to it. Now I'm going to show off the light up feature in a moment. I'll show off the bottom of the figure, but that takes us to, Terry.
It's time for Tread Watch.
Oh,
Boom.
and that is a legit tread right
Well,
there.
this is,
Look at
you're
that.
darn right, this is a legit tread. Now, you'll notice there's a small screw down there and a little on-off switch, and that is because these boots have a light-up feature.
As well,
Very easy to do. Boom. Again, bright white light on there, okay?
That is so cool.
Well,
oh my gosh.
Now, you think that's
and the
cool,
glow
Jesse.
from within.
You think that's
the glow
cool.
from within. Look at that.
Oh my
Boom.
gosh.
Can we turn
I
those
can't
lights
even.
off one more time? This I think may be our last time of turning the lights on up. Look at it coming
Guy,
through.
you saved the
Oh.
best for last,
Okay,
man.
yeah, I
You
Look
did.
at
really
that.
did.
I did.
You really did.
We got little blue points of white blue light right there in the front. We also have them along the side. Now, this figure we showed does have a dynamic flight stand. Probably that's how most of you are going to pose it. But if you even had him standing, you see that the light does go down and illuminates the floor and the base. So if I had him on that display base,
Beautiful.
boom, okay, you're still getting
awesome.
a light up feature, depending on how
Wow.
you choose to do it. You know, since we have the boots in the close-up, we're going to cut to the close-up. We are looking at the Deluxe exclusive edition. Always click yes. No, always click yes, because we have, leave those off real quick. We have one more light up feature. There are two accessories that are exclusive to this particular one. One being his mask with some notes. We're going to show that off in a second. And the other is
that.
Tony
Me
Stark's
too.
heart in the acrylic case. Okay, really nicely done. In fact, yes, the case does even come off. But on the back, yep, there's an on-off switch, and that is because,
Oh my gosh.
boom,
Yeah.
okay?
Epic.
Always go with the
my
Deluxe.
gosh.
Always get exclusives. You don't want to miss out. These are the nifty little things that are put in with a Deluxe.
Yeah.
So that's going to be one of the items. And while we're in close-up, thank you very much for staying on close-up. I'm actually going to hit some light on this one now because this is
I
the
love.
mask that we see
love this.
with his handwritten notes. Which I think is really cool.
Just grab whatever. Just grab whatever's available.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the
This
mark
guy
of true
definitely,
genius
Tony
right there.
definitely ain't pens, laying around to do that. You also see with that close-up, thank you very much, Michael, for all these close-ups. You see there on the boots, you see that colored wire look. Well, now that finishes what we've got going on with him. We're going to quickly go over the articulation because we've got an articulated accessory to look at. Michael, can we go up top and we will work our way down on our articulation. Now we saw in which the way in which the head is done as far as that neck joint. It's not a fully sculpted down into the neck, so we turn the whole thing there. We get plenty of turn, plenty of lean and tilt. As you can see, I've already extended, in order to show off that light effect, extended the arms out to the side. Now I'm going to always be holding closest to the moving joint and the fabric. as not to put too much pressure on that sculpted area. But as I said before, I'm pretty darn confident in how well it's put together. I can extend that all the way up. I can extend it back. We talked about the elbow with the 90. You can see, I'm glad I did it that way so you can see how those wires move. You do still have a cut bicep for in and out, and traditional wrist peg design. With those traditional wrist pegs, this is a relaxed hand. It also comes with 2 other hands which are in an upward turn. And this is so when he's actually flying, you can swap those out, and it does have the same light up in the front.
You're gonna want to keep those handy for later, Guy.
I figured as much. Chest, we can turn side to side. The nice part is this is an Iron Man without all the armor at the moment, so we're not hindered by a bunch of armor. So our ability to lean side to side, to crunch and extend is all there. Here's where we talked about those wires, and when we're moving them, we can extend the leg out to the side. We can extend it forward.
Oh, that'll be fun.
We can extend it a little bit back. 90 on the knee. And there is on the toe a hint of flex as well. Okay, little movement you see there. This is what I talked about with when you're moving it and those wires, and I will tuck it back in. Like so.
Cool.
All right. Now, that's going to move Tony off to the side. Tony relies on somebody in the lab a lot, and that is Dummy.
Hey, Dummy.
Relies on Dummy. Okay, this in the package is going to come on the very top of the tray in its own small tray. The only piece that's not on there is the extinguisher, is not connected to it. That actually kind of dangles out, and you get to put that on. And that is because Dummy does a lot of things in the lab, and so we're going to show that clamp there. We're going to keep with a lot of close-ups on this because I want to show you places that it does move and places that it doesn't. I would not want you to break it. So boom, that can completely come off, but you see that those are articulated.
Good.
This front headpiece can rotate. We work our way down to this next joint here, and yes, it can turn right or left. Work our way down, it can lift upward and can go downward. Now, the rest of it here, this longer, that does not move, pivot, or turn. You do not turn here, okay?
Okay.
But just in those points that I showed up on the head of it. But that doesn't end its articulation. The entire body, can we pull to a, yeah, thank you, that's the shot. Wow, these guys are predictive. Is that the whole piece can move, okay?
That's very expressive.
You'll notice that those shocks will move on their own, okay, to where you position it. Okay, so this is neat. You get to decide how you want to do it. And then down on the base, I am not rotating it with my rotation display, but on the actual piece itself. Okay, so in the statue world, we kind of call these proximity pieces. Same kind of thing. Then I can put that up there, clamp that. It's got his extinguisher for first flights. All right, so that takes us to one really cool accessory there. Now, before we move along, do we have any questions I need to answer that either one of you have or that the audience has?
I do not have any questions myself, Guy. You've done a good job of explaining so far. Jesse, how's the audience look?
Looking good. Now, if anyone has any questions, please let me know. I know we did answer the one, which was a die-cast question, which you guys handled. So if there's anything else that pops up, please let me know, and I'll get those questions over to Guy and Terry.
Very cool.
But, no, you're doing great. You're doing great, Guy. I mean,
thank you.
This figure.
You know, I'm getting to play, so I'm pretty darn happy. You know, Terry said he was going to probably have me swap out the hands. I have a very special guest. I'm going to move to the side.
Hello, Producer Alan. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hey, all right. So, a couple of announcements. If you're new to Unsealed and Revealed, welcome. We're happy to have you. There's some things you should know that we do about this time of year. First, I want to make sure everybody who watches Unsealed and Revealed has a Sideshow wish list. It's the only way I know how to get Guy presents this time of year because he's got so much stuff in his collection. I have no idea what he doesn't have. Hint, hint.
It's true.
So, but it's really important. You have a Sideshow account and you have a Sideshow wish list, and that Sideshow wish list
Right.
is public. So if you don't know what that is or how to fill out a wish list or whatever, Jesse's going to drop a link in the chat in just a minute. The reason that's important is 2 reasons this year. Well, I think all year long, Sideshow Social uses your wish list as a way to reward you for watching. But as it relates to this team, this year when we're doing a Cyber Monday show, if you've seen our shopping shows in the past couple years, this year it's just Cyber Monday. There's not a Black Friday show. It's Cyber Monday. We're gonna have a lot of really great deals during that show, but we may also be giving away wish list items. So you're gonna want to watch for sure and fill out your wish list. Make sure it's public.
All right.
Also, another reason it's important. Sam, can you bring up the graphic?
Sure.
All right. Look, that's Jesse, but it's actually me that's talking. Okay, so
I can pretend.
once you have your wish list filled out, you're going to email Jessie right there. You see her. There she is smiling. At unsealed@sideshow.com. In the subject line, you're going to write, Dear Collector Claus.
I know that guy.
And in the body of the email, you have to write, I will be watching December 13th, and my wish list is public. So you're going to email us from your Sideshow associated email account. It's really important. That's the only way we can connect all those dots. And, oh, look, that's not...
There he is.
Hey, there he is.
Welcome.
I know that
Alan
guy.
Ornament.
Happy
Yay.
holidays. Anyway, so it's very important. Make a wish list. It's not just for the giveaway. It's like, do you really want your family guessing what you want for the holidays?
No.
You really want them to
nobody
know, right?
likes
So
that.
that's the reason you have your wish list, so that your family, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, you're going to want to have that wish list ready. You're going to want to make it public so people can find it. And you're going to want to make sure you watch both on the Cyber Monday show and our December 13th show. If you fill out a wish list and you don't do the rest of what we're saying on this graphic, we'll have no idea that you're watching. But you also have to be watching that day to win. So not everybody wins.
Jeez.
We only pick a handful of things. This year it's probably even going to be less than last year. Last year it was a gluttonous holiday. This year we're going to pull back a little bit. But look, you know what I can see on my laptop? People are already doing it. I just got a notification someone's already done the whole thing.
Wow. That's
So
interesting.
I love it.
people are doing
I love
it.
it.
So
job,
make sure
guys.
you're doing it. I don't want to waste any more time here. We got to get back to the figure. But it's really important. Fill out those wish lists, make them public, let us know, and we'll talk about it again next week. But we'll remind everybody again. But make sure you get on it, and make sure your family knows what you want this holiday season.
Right on. Thank you, Alan. Thank you.
Thank you
This is
so much,
exciting.
Alan. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I love this time of year. I'm so
Oh.
excited.
It's a fun time of year.
Okay.
Figure
Without further
fun.
ado, Guy, are we ready? Are we ready to
You
get
know
posing?
what? While Alan was telling us all about the importance of the wish lists and our special show, I swapped
Yeah.
out the hands because you told
Awesome.
me to be
You.
ready.
Awesome.
So I am already ready, sir.
I'm telling you right now that we're gonna keep this pretty simple. Actually, I don't know how simple it's gonna be, but it's gonna be pretty basic.
Okay.
Because I think that this is the way that I would have this figure displayed in my collection. For me, the moment for me that Iron Man really congealed was in this scene, and that's why this figure set is so crucial in my mind to have in a collection. Because when it really congealed for me that this was actually going to be the pivotal Iron Man movie was when he was doing this flight test and he actually settled into that balanced pose that's so famous
yes.
from the comic books. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and unplug myself here.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for being patient. And I'm just going to ask if anybody in the comments can just name, just for fun. I mean, we're in Tony Stark's garage, so if you're in the comments, go ahead and rattle out. There are 4 cars in Tony Stark's garage. If you happen to know what they are, go ahead and send it out in the chats because I dig cars, and apparently so does Tony Stark. All right, Guy.
Nice.
All
Without
righty.
further ado,
Terry,
you're
talk
going
to
to
me.
need the flight stand, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, so get that flight stand ready and
Got
get
it.
them on the flight stand.
Okay.
Once you've got them on the flight stand, again, this is very, very, very basic, but there are certain tweaks to the posture and everything that you're going to want to perform in order
Correct.
to get it absolutely right. The feet have got to be as close together as you can get them. Arms have to be straight down, and it legitimately has to look it's almost like looking at an Oscar.
Okay.
Except he's not holding a sword. It's just straight up and down, just like this.
All right.
And the key is not to have it breaking at the waist or anything like that. You can do that a little bit, and I think he actually does break it just ever so slightly at the waist before he actually straightens out and gets that perfectly straight up and down posture. And just kind of just stares.
You know, this is pretty neat, Terry, in that, you know, for those who might be concerned about, you know, I don't want to do anything drastic, I'd rather do a museum pose. This is where you get to use museum posing, but still bring so much life to it. Few quick things, and we'll do the tweaks, is that this dynamic stand, you can see, gets some serious height. We will pull in the backdrop in a minute so you can see how it works with it. Those two pouches, the one that houses the batteries for the hands as well as the one on the other side, can be slightly moved. So I moved them a little bit to the back to do this pose, Terry. And then because we are able to shrug those shoulders forward, moved it a little bit forward so I can have those tighter to the body. What do you think?
I would actually shrug those shoulders back, and just see what they look like when you do that. And I think that's pretty good.
His head, is he looking down because he's landing straight ahead, upward, downward?
I would tilt that head down I would tilt that head down just a little bit. And that's kind of counterintuitive, because if there's one thing that I know from doing things like, say, water skiing or skateboarding, it's that if you look down, you fall down. So it's like a natural tendency that you have, that if he looks down, he's actually going to tip forward a little bit. So don't do it too much, just a little bit of a tilt down, just to get that expressive face. Another thing you need to keep in mind when you're posing this, and I don't know that we need to get too deeply into it with this posing session, is that those hands, those repulsors on his hands, originally were intended to be flight stabilizers. So if you're doing one of these things, where you want to have him just kind of like he's flying or a little bit out of control, because the problem that he ran into initially when he just had the boots was that he flipped over backwards. So when you're doing something like this and having the feet go forward, the tendency is going to be for that to just blast you in like a circle like this. So you're going to have these flight stabilizers forward like this as well, just to keep you centered. So if you're going to be doing that, then you're just definitely going to want to have him maybe a little bit off balance like that.
You want me to off balance him?
Or to the other end. It's just all about, like, when you stand and you go off balance a little bit, and you're going to like lean like this and do a little bit of a turn. And so just kind of alter the position of those arms to compensate.
That's kind of the fun part. Now that's where you talked about hey, I've got this, I'm going to hit the landing, we'll say.
Yeah.
That we do that. But like you said, the fun, you can also, move the legs around and change it up. What do you think about the tip of the head? I went a little deeper and then can lift up till you say when.
I think that's fine. What I would also do is I would actually arch his lower back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And maybe get those arms back, and maybe rotate those arms back so that his hands are like parallel with his thighs. So if you could like take a line and draw a line straight through his hands, it would also bisect his hips.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this looks so
Boom.
good.
What I did is I put those shoulders back, as you said. I was able to turn the bicep to get the arm a little further back, and then tweaked the repulsor, hashtag flight stabilizer, hands like so. The boots will almost touch. And
nice.
I'm going to give a bit of a bend in the stand just so he's got a straight up feature. I'm going to bring his buddy right in there. And the last thing I want to do, Terry, is show you how this works with.
I was hoping you were going to bring that
with the stand. I'm going to take it off my rotating base so they are on the same plane.
That is wise.
Now, Terry had me put it on flight, and we went all the way up to the highest point of its dynamic stand. And the reason that I wanted to show that off is I've got him all the way up at the highest point I'm going to put him, and I still have display over it. Okay,
Beautiful.
The illusion of being in the environment is not removed because the head peaks up above or goes too high. So boom, you've got it right there. Of course, this is in front of me, but I would tweak and move the little cover for his arc reactor to be nice and bright. In fact, do we want to kill the light for just a moment so you can see his flying techniques?
Dude, that looks cool.
That looks so awesome.
I love the flight on the feet. The deal.
The light ups are so incredible on this figure. Just love it.
Boom.
I'm seriously really just digging the boots. I think that the boots
I
are
love
really
the boots.
awesome. Yeah, the fact that the glow comes within like that and illuminates the internal aspects of it.
Yeah,
very, very strong.
That that was to me my big selling point. Also, this is my first of where we first see Tony. Now, I did not know I would be collecting as many Iron Man figures as I have. But this is kind of neat because this is that origin of what we had him do. I really dig on him. Now, this, for lack of better numerical system, would be the Mark 1.5 because he hasn't quite finished building Suit 2 yet. And the one in the Desert Mark 1 is done.
I dig it.
There are 83 more, right? 83 more?
83 after the 83 more.
83 more,
yeah.
And this was another one of my waited forever. So glad I got it.
Hey, I know that guy.
Yes, there's a fantastic pose session that Terry Smith is taking us through, and that is the battle damaged version of the 85. I wanted to show a bit of evolution. We talked about the evolution of being, all the different kind of Tony suits. Here we get. We talked about that this was the younger Robert Downey Jr., his first time out as Iron Man. We see for the last moment of him as Iron Man, and we see the beautiful work that Hot Toys has done on those portraits.
It's very much a culmination of Tony Stark's engineering and his brilliance, as well as being the suit that we've seen that most accurately represents that classic Iron Man armor from the 70s and 80s that I grew up with. Which is what I really, really love about it. But it also showcases the culmination of Hot Toys engineering in the construction of this entire Iron Man line. The fact that they were able to so beautifully render a nano suit, which is meant to have like no lines, very little of the internal engineering showing. It's just supposed to be fluid. And they're actually able to pull that off the way that they did. I so admire them for that. And as an Iron Man fan since the 80s, I'm very, very grateful for that.
Now, you talked about construction. It is also available to take a look at a Sideshow First Look by Terry Smith. Another bit of construction. If you're building Tony's workshop, we do not have it here on display because I want you to see what Terry did with it in that video. The Iron Man Mark III construction.
Piece. Yes. And if you're looking for something to round out what we're looking at here, what we've done, this is the real deal. This is just one more piece in the Iron Man pie from Iron Man 1. If you're wanting to really round out that collection and have the ultimate in displays from the first Iron Man movie, this figure that we've unsealed today, as well as this, combined with the other Iron Man armors from that film, really is something to behold.
I'm very glad that this according to if you at home were reading the box art, it says diorama. I like that they're bringing the diorama style into it. I did not know that I needed this in my collection until this guy came in, and then I saw your video on this one. So yes,
that's exactly the case.
I have pre-ordered them both. We now, as we said, there's 85 suits. I just want to throw a couple of my favorites out that I have collected over the time being. We'll try and go in slightly numeric order.
Okay.
I waited a long time.
I love this one.
I missed it the first time. I was glad to get the reissue. Bammo, the Mark V.
The Mark
One of my
Other than the
favorites.
nanotech, this is the sleekest of the suits that we see. Hot Toys has done a great job with working with this one to have even little articulated moving panels down there along the legs and there up at the chest. And the battle damage swap out parts on this are spectacular. Some on the chest, the entire arm can be swapped out, as well as some other pieces to really give it an incredible look. So number 5, he's going to go over into the shop. Let's see. My next up.
Who wants to guess what's next?
Next, okay, is everybody guessing?
It's a tough decision, Guy.
Okay.
I know.
Again, we're talking that I love the battle damage on 5. This battle damage on this guy. Boom. All right, this is where we see a huge change in an Iron Man's world between he and Captain America. This is the Civil War suit. And again, thank you, Hot Toys, for giving me the opportunity to put in the pieces that I screwed up and missed out on. With this one here, there's a full-on break in the front reactor. I don't have them all lit up right now, but there's a cut in that panel. It's really neat. I also kind of think what's fun is he almost has a brass knuckle look there.
Yeah, he
with
totally
with the
does.
metal there in the hands. Hence, that's the reason I wanted him in a kind of a punchy.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Iron Man cheats.
That's a great pose.
Yeah, because
Iron
well, wait a second. He's Iron Man. I think brass knuckles would be a knockdown for him. But I don't know. We're going to ascend in numbers. This is another reason you go with Deluxe and things like that. Yes, I did have him. I did add this one to my collection. Love the display base that comes with him, and comes with an Ultron drone type that he's beaten up. This is a beautiful one. Great light up features as well.
Yeah.
This will have a swap out portrait that lifts up the mask so you can see Tony underneath. And if you happen to already have the Hulkbuster, yeah, this guy fits inside that. Which is pretty darn wild. And the last one that I picked up recently, I picked it up on one of the deals that Sideshow ran earlier in the last couple of weeks because I could not pass it up. You talked about the nanotech, and that is, I celebrated a birthday, and this was just about the birthday number, and that is the Mark 50. That is the Mark 50.
That is awesome.
This Mark 50 has beautiful light up features all throughout the body, legs, arms, chest, and head, but has these really unique weapons. The wing style on the back, as well as the big major cannons. And there's an accessory set. That was when I jumped on it the other day. Sideshow did an incredible thing and made, if I ordered this, I could also get all the accessories, and made it a deal you could not pass up. But those accessories, if you don't have them and you have the 50, there's so much that you can do to really recreate every moment that he is in this suit.
They really enrich the whole experience of having the Mark 50 armor, which comes with a fair number of accessories on its own. But once you incorporate that full set, the kid gloves are off, man. You can really go to town with that suit, and that's the reason why it remains in my top 3 of the Iron Man suits from Hot Toys, and has been there for quite some time.
I remember when I believe you were doing a How to Be a Poser, or just it had arrived to your home as a purchase, and you were like, the more I play with this thing, the more I'm loving on it. And that's one thing that has, I know there's a lot of Iron Man armors, but I have to say some of the most enjoyable play and pose time that I have with a 6-scale figure has been in the Iron Man line. From finding hidden features to incredibly unique details to how did they get it to move like that and still maintain a sleek quality. The R&D on these guys is amazing. The paint job, particularly when I'm putting in batteries and all that, I wear little magnifying glasses. Yes, I've got a whole big old Google set. And when I look down on those things, I can just see these, micro nicks and scrapes and cuts and this and the other. They're all purposefully done on these. So I am glad that as I've continued with the later armor to now be able to get this newer armor, the creation set, as we'll say.
Something I should point out, Guy, is that pretty much all these, if not all of the armors, are currently available for $5 shipping. So not only are you getting like a great piece, I mean that's a significant amount of savings these days. Shipping rates are going up across the board in all markets. It's just something that's unavoidable. But with Sideshow offering $5 shipping on all these, that is a huge cut, a huge percentage off the total price of the armor. That's just really, really strong.
Terry, when you bring that up, with the exception of the one we are showing off today of Tony Mech Test, these are all die cast. So that weight is definitely going to factor into the shipping. So $5 shipping is
nice.
Is definitely a jump on, because depending, I think even in state, I'd probably be within the $25 to $35 range for shipping. So if you're East Coast or something like that, this is the time.
The die-cast boxes, are actually the largest boxes within the 6-scale Hot Toys world consistently. So yeah, between the dimensions and the weight of the box, you're definitely saving quite a bit of cash with that $5 shipping. So be sure to take advantage of that while you still can. Anyway, without further ado, I think that pretty much is a wrap for our show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today on a Tuesday. We know you got a lot of things you could be doing with your day, but you chose to spend your time with us, and we're really, really grateful for that. Thank you, Jesse, for everything that you do behind the scenes to keep us going. Speaking of behind the scenes, super producer Sam really rocks my world. You're awesome, as are our producers Alan and Michael. Guy, great job today. Very much appreciate you.
That was awesome. I loved that figure. Loved it. It was incredible.
And don't forget, everybody, to register for the upcoming Geeks Giving event at sideshow.com. Do we have a graphic for that we should bring up again one more time? But if not, just keep that in mind.
I'll drop the link in the chat one more time for everyone. Make sure you are registered. And also our geek group, side.show/geek group, we're going to have a lot going on in there as well. So that's a great place to hang out.
And I think that's a great way to end it. Thank you, Jesse. So without further ado, we're going to bid you adieu. Just call it a day. We'll see you at the same time next week when we reveal an as yet unannounced figure. Until then, thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.
Thank you.